Dun, 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 dun. Lunch lady arm. Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Ah, yeah, here we are. We're at this pivotal moment. This daily pivotal moment. This pivotal moment 24/7. Because if we don't do something, something bad's going to happen. And we're here to expose what's going on to the best of what we can. We've got Biden gaffes. Distraction. I'll show you this because it is fun to laugh at the dude, but it doesn't get to the root of the problem, which is the issue with our geoengineering, all the DARPA HARP and all the things that are going on to back. Because do you remember O'Keefe Media Group? I'll say that because I don't even want to give the other people any clout because it was James O'Keefe who was the back and forth behind all this when this all came out. He had caught CNN executive producer talking about how they were suppressing information on Hunter Biden laptop, suppressing information on what happened in 2020 with our elections. And then after that, what they're going to move on to is they were moving into the fear porn when it came to the COVID stuff. And then next thing you know, you move over to, so after that kind of fizzles out, then we're going to really hit it hard on climate change. And you've got to understand that it seems like other news companies, like your local grassroots broadcast that that should be isolated from the state-run media, but of course not, because it's all public funded through organizations that Open Society. Alex Soros, which is George Soros' son, who George Soros just recently said, "Here's all my stuff, you can have it, son, just don't mess it up." We'll see how this goes. Most empires, when handed over to siblings, typically either don't do much better or they something bad happens and it collapses in on itself. We can only hope for door number 2. He vows to be even harder core than his dad. That has said never had anything to do with public relations and politics. It's never him. His money never had funded that, but of course his money has funded organizations that move in that direction because the colleges that he started out indoctrinated people to start these organizations to perpetuate such a thing. All right, now back on subject. The climate change fear porn stuff that we're having to deal with now is all a combination effort of the geoengineering, because if you look back at what happened in Hawaii here recently, they said that there was a weird overcast that's not even normal for that area. I've never seen it before. And there's been proof to find out that this aluminum oxide, barium and stuff, I guess it helps to hold heat down and helps, it's actually helped to perpetuate some of these fires, allegedly. I don't know. But, so, with that being said, also, let's not forget that Hunter Biden is probably going to get off scot-free for everything, and then that's going to be complete and total. My phone, I know. My phone has a hard time dealing with this stuff when it hears it. It's like, because the AI that runs my phone happens to be somewhat fair. And I know, you're not like the other guys. So little AI, kind of like the little Masons, get a lot of bad names because of the big AI that's running our governments and all our politicians that's controlled by the lizard people that actually came here years ago as an entity of black goo, as a base operating program that was accessed possibly by Hitler's crew. Rabbit hole, guys. Look at ley lines. You'll be like, oh. And so, anyways, where we're at now in the political climate is we also need a court of public opinion. So these videos that we get out about Biden doing gaffe stuff is a real good way to try to expose the media's corruption so that people aren't trusting what the media says. They actually have to use their own cognitive inclination. So let me slide out of the way here. And I've got some other stuff too. We'll have some fun with this, guys. But we need to remember and need to be really vigilant of what's going on here. Let's go up here to this. We're always down there in the bottom. Let's ride over here to the top. But as you can see, this article that I have pulled up here right now, and this is a really good move as far as conservatives and people. Now, let me tell you what to do with the climate fear porn. Remember, I was just talking about that. New report shares that the concerning reason why attendance in Disney theme parks is dropping. And it says that they're becoming a ghost town. And guys, I promise you, it has nothing to do with the transgender people that work there that greet your kids when they go into the little places that you spend $750 on a milkshake. Has nothing to do with that. It would not have anything to do with the movies that they made trying to mess up all this stuff that's been exposed that Disney is into so far as the human trafficking, allegedly, that could be possibly going on, funded by all this stuff. It has nothing to do with that, guys, because if you go down there, it's the happiest place on earth. Of course, if you see these pictures right here, you can see quite empty parking lots. There is a graph here showing attendance over the years and how it's always been pretty consistent. Let's see. where we were at in this yellow area right here, which is 2022, things started coming out. And then here's the black area, 2023. That's when they started pumping all their movies. And then people found out that they actually held back the release of the Sound of Freedom, and wonder why that was. Okay, well, if you want to know why it's like that, here's how the mainstream media is going to put it. The park closures are due to extreme weather conditions and not unheard of in September. So it says here that they consider the impact of heat waves, which are exorbited by excessive carbon emissions, resulting in the everyday human activity. Did you hear that? Just those words put together. Carbon emissions resulting from everyday human activity. Now, that might just sound like a sentence just to put. Dude, they're coming after us. that's a setup point, a talking point. Not to mention those emitted in the park. So what they're going to do now is say limited shade areas, long lines, crowded parks, and the cost of the beverages may put some off from visiting the park. Definitely not anything to do with these crazy people who are coming after your kids. Summer months when hotter temperatures can be unsafe and problematic for visitors, especially those with children. So what they're looking at is they're blaming climate change. Extreme weather events like these are likely to become more common because of the effects of the Earth's rising temperatures. Heat domes. You see that right there? That right there is a cloud that has been an overcast cloud, very, very similar to what you would have seen in Hawaii. Okay, if you look right here, you can see this overcast. And we see these a lot now. And if you're not noticed on a hot summer day, the sunlight, they'll do ones that they're on the other side so that it's actually kind of like the sun breaks through this, heats up and creates a heat dome. Everybody knows that in the wintertime, whenever it's a real clear day out, that you know, it gets down to like 28, 27 degrees at nighttime. Just to give you an instance, and then if it just a number, that's not everywhere because we're in different areas, so different lows go different. But if a cloud cover appears, even if the temperatures are at a lower temperature, here comes the cloud overcast at nighttime. Now your temperatures rise up at 4 to 5 degrees easily, no problem. And this is at nighttime without the sun even shining. That's just soaking up the rest of the radiated heat that would be given off the earth at nighttime. So imagine how this will play out during the daytime when you have sunlight, X-ray, or ultraviolet, breaking through, heating up the ground. Because ultraviolet can create heat. Just as, you know, you see the visible spectrum of sunlight, but when you look at the invisible spectrum of sunlight, there's actually ultraviolet or infrared, which is another spectrum of light, infrared heaters that go under carpets that just the elements themselves don't put off any heat, but whatever light is emitted off of it, whether it's a visible spectrum or not, can heat up an area because that it absorbs those light rays, which then, you know, excites the molecular structure of that object and causes it to heat up. And so that same thing happens if you have a cloud cover. You get an array of ultraviolet and infrared that comes through that heats stuff up. And they know this, and they've created these heat domes because of it. And now that anything that goes wrong or something that happens, then they're going to blame climate change because that's what CNN said they were going to do. So that ties everything back to what I was saying earlier. Now, as for the Biden administration, Carrie Jean Pierre tweets apparently meant for Biden's account. Is Carrie Jean Pierre actually doing the tweets for the Bidens? That would explain the ability to believe that it is an incognitive person making the tweets, because here it is right here. If Carrie Jean Pierre's doing it, that'd be like peanut butter mixed with a little bit of honey. You know, it makes it pretty good, because in other words, Biden, you know, if he tried to tweet, it'd be just like completely mumbo jumbo. But if she tries to tweet, it kind of sounds like Biden does have cognitive decline, so we can, yeah, this does definitely look like a tweet of his. So yeah, perfect choice. But whatever, I've done this. I've posted videos on the wrong YouTube channel because I'd be in a hurry, like clicking my mouse, and it got a lot going on, got a whole lot of stuff to on her end. I got a lot of lies to cover up, so I'm really hurrying. Click. Oops! I just clicked it out on my Twitter account. I didn't realize it till somebody fired back at me. Whoopsie. So there you have it, folks. Which, you know, does it matter who's running his account? Not really, except for if you're Donald Trump, because then we've got problems, because Jack Smith took secret warrants out, dug into this dude's stuff, find out who's administrating, who's posting, who's got access to it, so that they can find out how to aim evidence and indictments. But other than that, no big deal. No big deal at all. Okay, all right, well, things going for the Biden regime It get a little bit worse every time, guys. Check this out. Here, this woman's gonna say, "Here he is, the person of the day." Here we go.
So, join me in welcoming a really good friend of mine. Someone who...
So, by the way, just a quick note to the video. I think that what you do is you look for glasses that would be attractive, and you say, "Get those away from me right now. Those glasses make me look somewhat normal and attractive. I want the crazy cat lady glasses." Yes, ma'am.
loves our community. Somebody named, I think his name is Joe.
they've got Bidenomics and posters up.
Good old Joe, President Joe Biden.
Come on, Joe. 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 Yeah, come on, Joe.
Well, I'm a little underwhelmed, aren't you all?
We were all underwhelmed a long time ago. Huh. Oh well.
Y'all please vote for me, okay?
Just vote for her, please. Then she gonna leave. She's like, "I'm done." She didn't even go look for him. Yes, it gets a lot worse. It gets way worse, dude. Okay, check this out. I found this, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Okay, here we go. This is after she finally they locate him. And I guess there's a daycare department, and they found him wandering around in the daycare apartment with where, like, I guess, the workers have to, they bring the, anyways, big companies have stuff like that. But they found him. Here he is.
But then, when I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again,
It's like a block of flicking flock. Yeah, here we go. And they give him this microphone, dude. They give him this microphone so that, I guess, I don't know what in the world goes on with this dude, but what ends up happening is he kind of like, wanders around, and he'll get away from the microphone and just not even be talking into the thing. And look, here we go.
Texas, the state of Texas, a very enlightened governor. The very state of Texas has
Sniffing
the
kids.
highest
Need
number
the
of
kids to
wind
sniff.
and solar facilities, I think, of any state in the nation.
Ah,
And it's cheaper than for fossil fuel. He wants to shut them down. Isn't that enlightened?
You want to talk about a dude who's barely there? I mean, like, I'd rather have a coworker on Clonopins than somebody than doing this right here. Look at this.
By the way, we, the United States, invented those semiconductors. We invented them when we went to the moon.
We went to the moon. We went to the moon. Look at this. He angrily says this because he knows good and well that there's no way.
When we went to the moon.
Hey, anybody out there in the comment section, are y'all feeling that? Did we go to the moon? Are we there on that? Or like, because I'll be honest with you, my public opinion is we did not go to the moon. That was all propaganda. Operation Paperclip operating at its best because of the fact that the United States said, "Hey, Hitler scientists, come over here and start a spy organization. We'll call it NASA, and we'll propagandize the people and get a buttload of money, and then we'll develop equipment and aircraft to later on attack these people into the psychological operations so that they don't know which way is up." And they're like Heisengogen, Gleevenflogen, yeah, and they came on down, dude. Here, look at this.
Acted more than $1
Blow my nose.
trillion.
Had a crack booger in there.
Let me say it again. $1.5 trillion in private investment in American manufacturing.
American manufacturing. Not good. Not good. Judge overseeing President Trump's bogus Georgia case, Scott McAfee, once worked under Soros-funded Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis. She got a big old fanny. The Vita got a big old butt. The fanny got a big old fanny. When she farts, it's like it creates. That's probably why the whales are coming up on the shore. Whenever she farts, her butt cheeks clap together and create a seismic event that actually throws the sonar systems of the whales off. And they're like, "It's these darn windmills." Nope, it's Fanny's fanny. The bogus racketeering case in Atlanta against former President Donald J. Trump and others had been assigned to Scott McAfee, who's well known for being a toilet plunger. Recently appointed Fulton County Superior Court judge. Once served under Soros-funded Fulton County District Attorney Butthole Willis, And on Monday night, Soros-funded District Attorney Butthole Willis returned 10 junk indictments against President Trump, questioning the 2020 election. Hey, check this out. A right protected under the First Amendment of the Constitution, which it is, because we've seen many other people question elections throughout the years with no scrutiny. The only problem is, though, is we had enough evidence at that time to move forward with certain things like checking the machines, going a little further into a risk-limited audit, and actually finding stuff out but then being suppressed. And do you remember whenever Arizona had their big Maricopa County audit, all the Department of Justice sending in spy planes soaking up data, and also Antifa having that circus right next door to the place? You know, like if something were to pop off, they had all their insurgents right there. A bunch of blue-haired people running that. And according to a report, Judge McAfee, 34, began his career as a senior assistant district attorney in the Fulton County District Attorney Office shortly after graduating from the law school. Yeah. Hey, guess what? He's got kid breath. I mean, he could very well have kid breath. Soros stuff again. Soros-backed DA, crime-ridden Oklahoma, California, hires boyfriend for six-figure position. Yep. Hey, how do work relations usually end up? Like when you work with your significant other. Anybody out there in the comment section work with your significant other, and how long and how's that worked out? If it's not been very long, come back at me in 6 months and see how that works out. People in Oakland, California are so angry about crime that they recently shouted after Soros-backed DA. That's not enough. She must not be very worried about public opinion because she just gave her boyfriend a six-figure job. It must be nice to be the king. I mean, be progressive. It's good to be the king. That'd be a Mel Brooks reference. George Soros, backed a district attorney facing potential recall in California, gave her boyfriend a six-figure taxpayer-funded position in her office. Alameda County District Attorney Paloma Price, who took $130,000 from Soros from her failed 2018 bid, secured a position for her boyfriend, Antoine Can't even get married before you start plunging that hole. All right, anyways, the San Jose Mercury News reported that Claire joined Price's office as a senior program specialist. It pretty much just sits there and hangs out and does stuff on TikTok. Advertising for campaigns, I guess. In 2023, with $115,502 per year salary, Price brought him onto her team without disclosing the relationship, although it is an open secret in the office according to the report. So, we've been together. You see our Facebook. We be at the Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel. Entire Minnesota town's police department quits. Maybe you've heard this, maybe you haven't, but that is, they're tired. No, bad. Because see, if enough of this goes on, then that means that could institute federalization of law enforcement, because of the fact that if there's a lack of that, then they can come in there with their goonies and say, yeah, well, we can hire a whole bunch of these illegals and they'll arrest you. They don't mind beating you with a baton, and we ain't gonna say nothing to you. They can beat all different color people. If it's an illegal beating you with a baton, you can be white, black, Mexican, Asian, transgender. You could whatever. You could get, if it's illegal beating you, and you can't say nothing. It's okay. It's racist if you fight back and try not to get beat with the baton. Hey, transgender people, get ready. You're gonna be fishing. I said this yesterday. We're gonna be we're gonna be in the same boat so we can go fishing together, because you're gonna find out real quick, fast, and in a hurry what it actually feels like to be persecuted and not be part of the system, be against the system. You're gonna be like us one day. It's coming. It's a coming, guys. And one last thing before I leave you out here. Speaking of activists and all this stuff, we got a lot of work to get out today. So I love that you. Thank you for all the support on the longer videos. We just got a lot to do, so I wanted to shine a light on a few things that's going on and just hopefully entertain you for a few minutes, because we all got to laugh some. And this here should do that. Here's a climate. Here's a climate activist. He gonna block this car, right? Now, what do you think's fixing to happen with this dude in this high-performance sports car? Well, he's all on the bumper and he's touching the front bumper. What do you think's gonna happen next? And this is me. We need more of this. Here we go. Here you go. You go back up. Rev limiter. No, it's loud. These people are scared to death of everything. They've never operated a weed eater, a chainsaw. They don't. If a loud noise comes out of something, they run like us. They just die. They've never been exposed to anything other than a bullhorn that they run. Let's gotta get some more of that. One more of that. So yeah, that's what we're doing there. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out, and we're gonna see what happens with this Fannie Willis, this butthole Willis. She's like, the judge that's running the case, the one guy that was there when they signed the indictments, the way he's portrayed, he's into this. This is fun for him because now he gets all this PR, and he thinks he's on the right side of things. Or better yet, he thinks that his side is more powerful, so right is only in the eye of the beholder. Because we saw that with that Marxist math at the end of one of my videos I did yesterday, or the video I did yesterday. This trans loony chick tells us that 2 + 2 = 4 is racist. That a dictated outcome is racist in all forms and what so. With this kind of ideology, guys, it just doesn't. You're going to see some crazy stuff happen. So please hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and tell everybody what's going on. And guys, I just like I say, really appreciate all the support you got. And I'm out.